Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome to landing the iFly Boeing 737 MAX right within Hurricane Milton in Tampa. Now, of course, on this channel we are not just gonna put a big headline up landing in Hurricane and then just show some utterly impossible flight, but much rather what we are going to do is to have a look at this from an operational perspective and from what you would do when landing in conditions like these. Needless to say, in the real world the airport has been closed and there are no more flights coming in. But first things first, let's go ahead and have a look at the weather conditions. So let's take the live weather down here, and we are going to go for weather over in Tampa, please. So let's try and find that somewhere down here in the list, and here it is, Tampa International. So as you can see, the current weather conditions: 040 at 19, gust 38, visibility 1¼ mile in heavy rain, Broome overcast 1200, 23 degrees, altimeter 2933. So let's make sure that the correct altimeter setting has been made over here, like this. The approach itself is going to be the ILS approach to runway 1 left, and that ILS approach does come with a fairly standard 3-degree glide down to a minimum of 200 feet above the ground, and that is all we're going to do. So how are we going to conduct the approach? Basically, we are going to use the autopilot all the way down, and we are simply going to fly as per the standard procedures for IMC. That means we are going to extend the landing gear at 5 nautical miles, be sure we have the aircraft configured by the time we reach 1000 AGL, which is our stable approach gate, and then we are going to go over into the standard manual flight for landing scenario. So overall, I have my simulator's turbulences set to realistic down here in the assistance option. So piloting, you can see turbulence is set to realistic. And as we're about to commence our approach, let's just go ahead and review the wind shear escape maneuver, just in case it becomes necessary. First of all, wind shear can not only be detected automatically by the system, but wind shear may also be detected by any of the pilots. If anyone notices wind shear, call out wind shear, and then we are going to fly the wind shear escape maneuver, which is press toga, firewall the thrust levers, rotate up to 15 degrees pitch, and thereafter we can follow the flight director guidance. Now, we are going to maintain our configuration until we're out of the wind shear, and once we're out of wind shear, we're going to go into a standard go-around scenario and retract our landing gear and the flaps on schedule, make especially sure that we do not accidentally overspeed the flaps. And that is the wind shear escape maneuver for us. Okay. So, let's go ahead and clean up the flight plans. I am going to draw an extended centerline out of Salmon down here. And with that, we are basically set up for the approach. It is going to be a flap 30 landing using auto brakes 2. And we are going to use 15 knots of wind correction, of course, since that is more or less necessary in order to be able to fly an appropriate approach speed. Talking about the approach speed, one small notice over here, and that is the target is not to maintain the speed exactly at the speed bug. Much rather, the target will be to keep the speed between the speed bug and the VREF for our approach. And that is literally all you can ask for under a situation like this. Alright, so, flaps 1, speed checked. And then we can go ahead on the approach mode. And let's see how this approach is gonna go. Let's work ahead a little bit. The start switches are in continuous, recall checked, speed brake is armed. Okay, runway approach course error, I disagree with that. The course is 008 as per the approach chart. Also, let's go ahead and remove that traffic over here. I don't think we would find anyone else over here, except maybe from some weird guy from the FAA who is going to somehow scold us and get us for what we're doing over here. Alright, so localizer and glide slope capture, runway heading 008, go around altitude 3000 set. Intercepting the glide path, We're going to maintain the flap 5 configuration until reaching 5 nautical miles, and only then we are going to continue configuring our aircraft for the approach. So, the wind is pretty much cross at the moment. It's going to turn a little bit more into a headwind, so we have to anticipate that our indicated airspeed is going to increase a little bit. I do not expect my auto throttle to be reliable during this approach, so let's already go ahead and turn it off over here. Just make sure my joystick is at around about the same position. Here we go. And that's it. Auto throttle in the Boeing 737. According to the paper, it should be good for an approach like this. In practice, though, it is not really, and you will find yourself overwriting the auto throttle quite a lot if you want to maintain the stabilized approach criteria. Okay, so we're approaching the 5 nautical mile ring, which is the point where we are going to extend the landing gear and the flaps into 15. For now, everything is looking fairly smooth over here. The gusts are not hitting us yet, but the wind is going to turn a bit more to the left and increase in strength anyway, so there's always that. Alright, gear down, flaps 15, and flaps 30, speed check, flaps 30. We'll set the approach speed down to VREV plus 15, like this. Alright. Landing checklist, start switches, continuous, recall, check, speed brake, armed green light, landing gear down 3 green, auto brakes 2 set, flaps 30, and 30 with a green light, landing lights on, landing checklist complete. Alright, let's put the wiper up to high, and then let's see how this is going to develop. The wind is still going to turn a little bit more into a headwind over here, so let's see what we're going to face. So, let's have a little bit of fun.
1000.
Checked. So we are stable, the autopilot is off. And it looks like the gusts are starting just now. So, small corrections on the thrust. Temporary exceedances of VREV plus 20 are allowable without a go-around, but if the exceedance becomes too long, then we'll have to execute the go-around maneuver. Okay, approach lights coming inside, straight ahead. But we are entering the gust just now, it seems. Fairly hard to maintain the glide slope.
400.
Ooh, that was interesting. Little gust that hit us there.
300. Approaching minimums.
Checked.
200. Minimums.
Okay, continue. We are on the glide slope.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Alright, well that was an interesting one. Apparently the glide slope came in a little bit low in the scenery here. A little bit of a Microsoft Flight Simulator issue. But we were able to arrest the descent rate at 10 feet. And at that point, technically speaking, it would have been a wind shear. But since we were basically on the ground, I decided against the go-around option at that point. Alright, welcome to Tampa. Even though I have a feeling we are going to duck for shelter now and are going to find a retreat pretty quickly. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this one interesting. Now, leave your opinion in the comments beneath the video, and as always, if you're up for more, don't forget to like the video. If you did like it, be sure to comment to let me know what you think about it, and subscribe if you're up for more. Most notably, some more normal flights coming up over the next time as well. Thank you very much for watching, like, comment and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.